everybody. Welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast, brought to you by our patrons at patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Patrons like Cole and Darren, but I'm not either of those people. My name is Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
Matt gets 0 breaks during the day. That's why he sounds broken.
I hate my life so much.
So, today, as the title implies of the episode, we're going to be reviewing some custom cards, but also, they reviewed the last of the Overtriggers revealed the last of the Overtriggers for the rest of the nations on Planet Cray, so I thought we could talk about them. United Sanctuary, Stoicheia, and Brandgate.
Yes.
Got revealed.
Yes.
Want to read the United Sanctuary one?
Gator Sanctuary, and
Gator
sure.
Sanctuary. Whatever.
So, it has the usual Overtrigger thing, where when it's revealed as a trigger, you can draw a card and give something 100 million power and remove it from the game. And then the additional effect is, until end of turn, you also perform drive checks for the battles your rear guards attack.
So, that's a thing. People on Twitter seem to like the meme that we put out. Thanks again, Chris, for that.
The real joke is thinking premium is a real format.
I like how we've 180'd on this over time, but happens. Yeah, I feel like the effect itself isn't too crazy just in the concept of standard, but yeah, for premium, there's lots of nutty shit.
In standard, you can just casually go +6. What are you talking about?
I mean, not too crazy as in, like, it's an Overtrigger, you might take it on damage, you might not see it at all. There's only the one.
Yeah, but that's true of all of them. Just
that's what I'm saying.
Talking about the actual additional skill is, like, you can just casually get 4 extra drive checks. What's not to like about it?
I didn't say there wasn't anything to like about it. I'm just saying it's good. As good as crazy can be.
Yeah. I do think this has the lowest floor of any of the Overtriggers, just because you can drive check it when you have no rear guards.
Mm-hmm. Or take it on damage, and then there's no, like, good
yeah, but that's
there.
the same. That's the same as all of them.
Well, some of them have other effects where you can use it defensively.
No, you have to drive check them, to
right.
get the additional effects. So it does not work defensively for any of them.
Reading is hard. And then for Stoicheia, we got a Swords Dragon Deity of Blessings, Bless Flavor. So the additional effect on that is you choose one of your units, it gets an extra crit. All of your front row units get plus 10k, and then if you have more damage than your opponent, you heal. In addition to this, also, like, taking itself out of the game, you take a damage out of your damage zone. So this is just an everything trigger.
That's so bizarre.
I know.
Why?
I literally think it's because, okay, we mashed 5 clans together. Why don't we just have it do everything?
I mean, sure, it's, like, not great. I mean, it's of course absurd because it's Overtrigger, but, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
This seems the most like they just didn't know what to do with it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Commander Jaime made a point of saying maybe they should have just had it be like a stand trigger because they don't exist anymore. You might as well, like, have that be the last dying breath of them. But can you think of anything better? Because I sure can't.
I mean, I think the better idea would be if the Overtriggers didn't exist, probably, but, you know, whatever.
That's a whole nother conversation that we've already had, and yes, these are completely insane. Like, as a concept.
Like, honestly, most games I'm probably just gonna draw it. It's gonna be like, okay, whatever.
It's a big shield, that's it.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna draw it most games, but there's some games where it's gonna just feel really bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a way to get around that. It's just is what it is.
Or it's the next card, or your opponent uses it essentially as a miracle heal and then stops your turn dead in its tracks. So many things that can go wrong with this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Or it's sitting at the bottom of your deck and you never see it, but every opponent you play will find it one way or another.
I was going to say, that's Matt. That's going to happen to Matt.
True.
So, what's this last one?
For who?
Matt?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I remember which order we talked about these things. So the Brain Gate one, it says... This one's so stupid. Alright. It says double the power and critical of all of your front row units until end of turn.
And it's double the power and critical when it's activated. So if you just check the critical trigger beforehand, now your thing has 4 criticals.
Yeah. Definitely is not double the original crit. It is just double the crits.
This one reads like when you're a kid and you're like playing whatever it is with your friends and you're going, I have this much power. It's like, oh yeah, I have double that. That's what it feels like.
It's like... There's going to be some games where this is just going to be the most ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all my things have two crits and one's got
It's like
4.
attack. Oh, I draw check this. Well, right now I have 2 crit and a massive, so you better be PG. Also, these columns also are huge and have 2 crit. Like, if your opponent's at 4 and you check this, they probably die, but, like, you know, what are the odds, right? That's, like, has to really line up, so I'm not too worried about, like, that case specifically. But, man, it's going to feel really bad sometimes. Or even, God forbid, like, you just, like, you know, ride a grade 2, call something and, like, attack, and then you trigger it, like, on grade 2 randomly, you're just like, oh.
I
4
mean,
damage, question mark?
yeah, I think this one is the most just ridiculous.
What, highest ceiling, maybe?
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like highest ceiling. It also has a fairly high floor too, because like Matt said, if you just call even one random thing, you're potentially dealing like 4 damage in one turn. Because like the Dark States and Stoichea one, you only get the 1 critical. So even if you drive check it, it's like early, it's like, okay, 100 million, and then plus like 10k in a crit for the rest of the game, sure. But in that moment, it's like, alright, you take the hit, that's 2 damage, where with this, you know, there's a ton of high roll potential, where if you just call the full board early for some reason, suddenly your board is massive and you could possibly OTK your opponent.
Like with the thing that makes tokens randomly. Yeah?
I mean, you're not going to be doing that on, like, your first grade 2 ride.
Oh, probably not, but I mean, like, it's still a thing where you can... It's probably easier to fill a board than you might think.
Mm-hmm.
This, like, imagine doing this early, like, on your grade 1 drive check, you get the doubled thing. That's got to feel kind of bad, because you're like, great, I just gave them damage for their turn 2.
I mean... Turn 2, not a lot is happening for a lot of the decks so far.
That's what I'm saying. So, like... Oh, you mean, like... Yeah, got it. Never mind.
Like,
Sorry,
nothing's happening, and also, like, because of the way guard value has changed, like, dealing 4 damage early is a huge tempo swing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, this just has the potential to completely turn a game in a way that I don't think anything else does. Except for maybe the Dark States one, if you check it like your first ride.
I gotta read the wording on this again, because it's you get during your turn all your until the end of the fight.
Yeah,
so
it's for the game.
Yeah, so even writing new stuff, it still gets the
Right.
Yeah.
It's all of your band. Like you get the ability.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really silly.
They don't do that a lot. The player gets this thing forever. That doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. It changes the rule of the game so that your Vanguard always has 10k in a crit.
Yeah, 23k 2 crit till it's over. How about that?
Yeah, but like, you can just... So yeah, if you just drive check the Dark States one on your grade 1 ride, That's like big money right there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Keter Sanctuary one is probably the one you want to drive check the least on your first ride because you probably don't have a board.
Mm-hmm. And, well, the good thing is you still have... like, if your Overtrigger doesn't, like, gel with your deck's strategy that well, you always have the vanilla Overtrigger, Spiritual King of Determination. Oh, it's just vanilla. Never mind. Forget it.
No, that one gives an extra 100 billion power.
I guess, but, like... Can you split that, or is it just the one you picked also gets that?
Yeah, you can split that.
Okay, that's better.
The additional effect just says choose a unit and give it 100 million power, so you get 100 million from the trigger, and then its own effect gives something else 100 million.
Oh, okay. Alright, that's not that bad then. Yeah, so, you know, depending on what they continue to release, maybe these get better or worse with time. What I can say is that there's some stuff that it's like, you gotta watch your ass. Like, I don't think Brantgate is gonna have a lot of stuff that, like, your Vanguard gets an extra crit. Because, that's not gonna be fun. Like, you do that, get an extra crit, drive check, crit, so it's got 3 now. And then you get the Overtrigger afterward. It's 6 crit. Fear me.
That's a lot of crit.
Imagine if they just had a unit that had a triple drive really easily.
I mean, they've already, like, what's her name with the handcuffs already gets an extra drive check, so.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm referring to.
Oh. It's a little scary. So.
Yeah.
Fear me.
I don't know. I mean, the thing with these is, like, this could just be a thing where they see what happens, and if it gets really negative reception after the first couple of sets, they could just ban them forever. The way Pot of Greed is banned forever.
Yeah, there's only, what was it, 6 of them, so...
Yeah.
That's I don't think that's going to hurt people too much if they just ban them all. Instead of, like, alright, we gotta, like... kill all of the, like, a bunch of cards in a deck or whatever. This is just kill 6 cards, you're done. Alright. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add before we get into the custom cards?
No, I don't think so. Like, these Overtriggers are all really nutty, and, like, whenever you actually drive check them during your turn, it's going to be ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious to see how people are going to react to this. Like, if we don't see an Overtrigger for the whale, that could be a sign of where things are going to go in terms of Overtrigger.
Do you think they're not going to make one? Or...
I mean, I think that depends entirely on how people receive Overtriggers for the first couple of sets, because I believe the whale isn't coming out until after set 2? I can't remember now.
Oh, really? That's so long.
I'm not sure.
Their Overtrigger better be sweet.
It's going to.
Yeah. I can't remember if the whale comes out before or after set 2, but they're going to have time to, like, see how the game develops and get people's reactions. So I think if people just really don't like Overtriggers and they don't make one for the whale, we might see the current ones disappear from existence.
Here's hoping. We're, you know our opinions. We're like, awkward. It's like your kid going through a weird phase. You're like, I really hope this doesn't pan out. Alright, let's do some custom cards. We got these off of either Twitter with the hashtag Nexus cards, or found in other places like Reddit, or we freaking made them ourselves. So, who wants to go first?
I mean, all 4 of mine are kind of following a theme.
Okay, so do we want to do each person does all 4 of theirs before moving to the next person, or do we want to do one at a time?
Probably all four, right? Because if
Yeah.
they follow a theme, they probably all
Yeah.
want to be next to each other.
I guess so. Three of
Yeah.
mine, three of the ones I found follow a theme. The fourth one does not. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah. So I'll go first, I guess. So this comes from the subreddit. The username is Amber Metallic Scorpion, which I think we've had on this show before. Not the person, the custom cards, but for Tachikaze, there is Ancient Dragon Crest Runner. It's a grade 1, and on van or rear, when your drive check reveals a front trigger, this unit gets +1 crit. Doesn't say till the end of the turn. Apparently, it's permanent. And then auto on van or rear when placed from hand. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Ancient Dragon with a different card name than this unit. Put it into your hand and shuffle. If you put a card into your hand, discard a card. So I guess it's like a grade 3 searcher, but for Ancient Dragons that just gets crits.
Mm-hmm.
Curious.
I know. I'm guessing.
I wonder if they just forgot to put the restriction on, or
what, the end of turn thing, or
yeah.
I bet they did, but it's still funny to me the idea of somebody being like, no, it's permanent, it's totally fine, guys. The grade 2 is Ancient Dragon Dino Crowd, so the early game master of Tachikaze. On van or rear, when your drive check reveals a front, gets a crit, and then act on van or rear. If you have a Vanguard with Ancient Dragon, Soul Blast 2, draw a card, choose a card from your hand and call it to rear. If you call the card with Ancient Dragon in its card name, this unit gets +5k. At the end of the turn, put the unit called by this effect into your soul. This is worse than the original one. Anything?
So, sorry, put which unit into your soul?
You put the unit called by the effect into your soul at the end of the turn.
This is a Tachikaze card?
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah. And it's an act ability, so it's not even like doing the Nama thing for the 5k and then it combos into more attacks. None of that, apparently.
So I guess the idea is they're making you eat it?
Yeah.
But, like, why?
And why make it like it's a Soul Blast for a draw, call something, and then at the end of the turn put the... This almost reads like a Pale Moon unit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what they were thinking with this one. And then the grade 3 is Ancient Dragon Spino Driver, so that old Break Ride. Again, if you get a front trigger, gets crit, and then auto and van when it attacks. If all of your front row rear guards have a unit with Ancient Dragon in their card names, you can counterblast 1, discard a card, and it gets +1k and drive +1. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets drive +2 instead of drive +1. Okay. So, full front row, you get triple drive, and then if you're going second, it's a quad drive.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And now I guess the Dino Crowd makes a little more sense, because like that unit's going away, but it's still something for the turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Still bothers me. That's that Dino Crowd. And it's got 12k Excel marker, but hell, if anything, the Excel marker is a disadvantage in this case because you then have to fill it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting bet.
I don't think that was
Balancing.
on purpose. I feel like they were just like, you put an Excel search, because that's what you do. They all have imaginary gifts. But I think if it was like, if they changed it to, if you got 3 in your front row, you get the, triple drive. If you have 4 in your front row or more or something, then you get quad drive, something. I feel like they said it was for fan clan selection, so that's probably why it was just the 3 and they didn't really expand on it more. But
Probably.
yeah. And then my fourth one is just a standalone card. It's for Dragon Empire. It's a with Persona Ride 13k, grade 3. Blizzard Storm Kurakami. On van, when it's attacked, You choose a copy of her from your hand and discard it, and this unit cannot be hit until end of battle. Anything wrong with this picture? Because I see some.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time? I missed it.
Okay, so when the thing is attacked, you Persona Blast, discard a copy of her, and she cannot be hit until end of battle. She also has the Persona Ride. What's wrong with this picture?
So you get to choose whether you want a Persona Ride or not and defend yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Why would you want
I don't
that?
see anything wrong with that. It seems like they're just gonna put... Like, they put Persona rides on cards that you clearly don't want to be riding anyway, so...
That's true.
But it's a Vanguard skill, and there's no other effects.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah, that's really whack. So you'll never Persona Ride, probably.
Yeah. Well, either you'll never... You're like, active, like, the two things take away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
It's bizarre.
yeah, bothers me a lot. I feel like there should be some second skill that's like that would, if you Persona Road this turn, you counterblast and like get a copy of her from soul to hand or drop zone to hand, something to like recycle.
Gotcha.
All right, that's my 4. Your turn.
Whack.
Yeah. So am I going now?
Go for it, sir. You made him.
Yeah. Alright, so... At the beginning of Overdress Reveals, I had gotten the idea of, like... What if Yu just goes through his, like, edgy evil phase the way that Aichi did? But instead of playing the Villain's Clan, because that's super boring, I just made evil versions of every card.
I'm listening.
So yeah. Half of these I didn't actually name, and the ones I did name were either completely uncreative or I literally mashed my keyboard.
Okay, this just seems like it's gonna be funny, whatever it is.
But yeah, I had a grade 0 called Copy Star because I am in fact incredibly unoriginal. So
Copy Star.
Yes, exactly.
This
I
is
am terrible with names.
This is like in TV shows where they can't get the rights to like a product or a musician or something, so they like do a rhyme. They're like, "Hey, can you pass me that can of Moca-Cola?" Like,
yeah. Can you guess what it? So, rear drop zone, Soul Blast 1, reveal a unit with the overdress ability from hand. Unit's name becomes the same name as stated on the overdress skill. There was part of me that just wanted it to become Trickstar, but I wasn't really sure where. I was thinking this way, it would be future-proof in case they printed overdress cards that didn't require Trickstar.
Okay.
Maybe.
That makes sense. I feel like if like I'm imagining the art for this, and it's like it's Trickstar, but with just like really heavy eyeshadow. He's wearing a cape.
It's gonna be like a Mimikyu, where he has a really bad Trickstar costume.
Oh, that's even better. I like that. That's funny.
And then, some evil version of Arena. I did not bother to name this one.
That's the name you typed out. Some evil version of.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's grade 2, 10k. It'll overdress onto Trickstar. So, continuous rearguard during your turn, it gets 5k for each Trickstar in your drop zone. And then when it attacks, you can counterblast 1, retire this unit's original dress, and restand it.
Cool. I like that. So you kind of drop some weight, go again, especially because like restanding rear guards is kind of rare in this early phase of the game.
Like, I was trying to find something that was, like, strong enough to be worth retiring the original dress, but not also completely overpowered. And this is the one where I just mashed my keyboard, so it's Drag Rider Alf Doka.
Alf Doka. So this sounds like an alien that's living in your attic.
Yeah. So this one is also a grade 2, who 10k. So when it attacks, counterblast 2. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire all your opponent's rear guards in that column, and then if you have Trickstar in your drop zone, it gets power plus 10,000.
Cool.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have anything to say about these?
Anything?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Wait,
That's fine.
Give me
And
the
then
name. Give me the name of that second one again. Sorry.
Is that
What? Some evil version of Arena?
Virina.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
some
name.
evil version of Virina. Now I'm imagining someone out there starts a podcast called Some Shitty Version of Nexus at Night, and the host names
Whoa, they'll
are
name it something else.
are Alex, Jack, and Theodore or something. Someone do it, please.
And then some grade 1 dragon, I don't fucking know.
Wow.
Yeah. So at the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If an original dress was put into your drop zone, you can Soul Blast 2, return the boosted unit to your hand.
Cool. So it's all about, like, instead of having the unit to overdress, you use it to pay for stuff and then reuse it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I like that.
So it's like Nirvana can just fish back the Trickstar, and then if you have the grade 1 dragon, you can just return the evil Varina to your hand and try.
And try again, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mom came in.
It's okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Matt?
All right, so I tried to make guard break not broken in D. And here's my idea. So let's start with. So I tried. Also wanted to make a ride chain because it seemed fun.
Because they don't suck anymore. Because you can just do.
Yeah,
ride
because
deck.
now you have the ride deck, right?
Yeah.
So grade 0 you can call like Goyusha Mark II or something. Whatever.
Oh my god. It's back.
You know, I don't even know what nation this would go in. Honestly, who cares?
Just says that in
Doesn't
the
matter.
bottom. We don't know what nation. Honestly, who cares?
Yeah. It says all of that somehow in the little box. So the grade 1, it's like so. It has on so when it has a Vanguard skill, right? Because they all have like Vanguard skill, Rearguard skill.
Yeah.
So I made the Vanguard skill when it's rode upon, you give like you call your top card, but it has to be in that spot behind Vanguard.
Okay.
So like whatever is back there is gonna be back there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for this, but that's kind of the idea. And then it has a Rearguard skill that if it's boosting your Vanguard, it gets plus 2k.
Okay.
All right.
Makes sense.
So the boosting Vanguard thing is going to be important. Pay attention. So in grade 2, it's all start with its Rearguard skill, and its Rearguard skill is simply that it gains boost.
All the time.
Just has boost, yeah.
Cool.
And I thought about making that Rearguard / like everywhere else, but you know whatever. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to struggle making its other skill, but I ended up with like when this is rode upon by the grade 3 like Daikaiser, say if you want to call it something.
Daikaiser Mark II.
Daikaiser. What is? It's not Cray anymore. It's what? Is it still Cray? Anyway.
Yeah. It's still the same planet. It's not like it stops being Earth when society collapses.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is like when it's rode upon. I had like put in a Rearguard and Soul draw card. That's very boring, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of something that would be like more important because you have to fill the board, or like the idea is that you have to fill the board with like boosting units.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
so like I wanted something to like satisfy that. So I also thought about like making like a token to like boost with, like they're on the grade 2, like a 5k token.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't need a rear guard. But it would just like make a unit, just like fill the board basically. And like I said, its rear guard skills just can't boost. So now the Vanguard skill. So Vanguard has 2 skills. One is a continuous, and this unit can be boosted by units in any position.
So like somebody in the corner can boost the mid.
That's correct.
That's
The
cool.
front row can boost the Vanguard.
Wow, that's very interesting.
So
Okay.
basically, all 5 of your units can boost your Vanguard
At once.
at once.
Okay.
But they're all rested now.
Yeah.
This is like my balancing mechanic. It has an auto, like on attack, or I guess like really like on attack if this unit is boosted. I don't know how to word this because it's like really awkward because it needs to be boosted by 5 units. Maybe it should be a continuous.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's a continuous. Like if this unit is boosted by at least 5 units, this unit gains counterblast 1, like when your opponent places a guard, you can counterblast one, destroy it.
Interesting.
Okay, so you have to set up a board to get the guard break still online, but that guard break still is not related to drive checks. It's just as long as you can pay for it.
Right.
Okay.
And your Vanguard's going to be like 60k because, or like at least 60k because it has 5 units boosting it.
God forbid you're like on the Persona ride turn and your front row.
Right. Is... You know, it's just like all 30k that from the Persona ride just goes to your Vanguard.
Oh my god.
It's all being boosted from the sides. Yeah. So like the additional support would like be like a grade 3 that gains boost for like whatever, you know, like for some reason, or like things that fill the board with like boosters or something like that. And that's kind of the idea of like the archetype. But the idea is like I wanted to make guard break in a way where it's like strong, like it's like a play, like I don't even know if this is playable honestly, but in a position where like it's not like just broken. And basically the way of fixing it is that you have one attack.
One attack. I assume that the guard break comes with like the cannot be hit things or nullified or whatever the hell it.
I don't even know if it should, honestly. I think that's a little strong. But like if it didn't, PGs would be like absolutely soul crushing, so maybe it should.
Yeah.
And then you have to actually like force guard it or like be at low enough damage to not just be dead.
I mean, at most you can only do that thing 5 times.
Right.
At once. Yeah. So I feel like that's
and that's
the
just
balance.
You counterblast for nothing else, right?
Oh my god. Okay, he gets the gold medal this week just for like ridiculousness. Good lord.
Look, I just wanted to make something where everything has to like put all of its like all of your energy, all your power in the Vanguard, every single bit of it. And then you get to do a cool thing.
The most Dimension Police thing you could have done. And the best part is, like, these are all robots, so it stands to reason that they could rebuild Daikaiser in 3,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
I could see it happening.
It's just been lost in the ocean for, like, a while. Somebody had to dig it out.
Yeah. And then it's all rusty
and they're now the main character. Although it's not a piloted robot, right? It's just like a robot.
I'm not sure.
I think it's just a sentient robot.
Alive. So it's just like alive, right? So like, maybe it'll just wake up. Maybe it's like Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Except cooler.
Because it's Daikaiser.
That's right. Glad you understand.
Oh my god.
But the idea that it can be boosted from anywhere is like pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
The wording is all trash because like I don't even know how to word like a situation where like a unit needs to be boosted by multiple things because it literally doesn't exist.
Yeah, it breaks the rules of the game, but that's the fun part, you know? See, like, I'm imagining, like, you pick up the card to read it, and it just says, like, in brackets, like, this guy will explain it, and then you turn to your right, and it's just Matt standing there. Okay, so here's how it works.
I guess you could give it a continuous skill that, like, all your rear guards get boost and can boost from any position.
But, like, how do you make it say, do you just say boost from any position concurrently or at the same time? Like, just something to show that you can boost with 5.
Like, I would just, like, word it, like, if your Vanguard is being, like, continuous, you know, like, if your Vanguard is being boosted by 5 or more units, this gates blah.
Oh, just so it, like, tells people, oh, you can do that with multiple things.
Yeah, or you could just say this
tells you can be boosted by units in any position.
Yeah. You could also just put in a second part of the skill. This unit can be boosted by multiple units.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that'd be easy. Yeah.
Or just make the first bit like this unit can be boosted by multiple units and boosted by units in any position.
Yeah, that works too.
Just like whatever to make it as clear as humanly possible that like, yes.
This is the thing that's going to happen.
All power to Vanguard.
All power to the engines.
All your power on the board. I also thought of like situations where you might want to like pass criticals or like, you know, a number of other things that you could like, you know, this could be, you know, this could be done with rather than just like a guard break, which I really wanted to do without making it busted. And I'm not even sure it's like it's so easy for a skill like this to go from like good to bad. or like vice versa. Like it's really hard to make it like fair, say. So
I feel like Die Kaiser Leon was a good example of it being done right.
oh, the stride.
Yeah, the stride
probably.
where you had to counterblast when you drove check at grade 3, and there was no like crit on its own. It just had the guard break, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was much worse when he broke right on Die Kaiser, and you're it's like, hello.
Oh yeah, that was pretty wackadoo for sure.
Like, I have a crit, I have, like, negating PGs for whatever reason.
Oh, and it's double guard break, so you gotta drop 3 PGs.
Oh, yeah, and sometimes it's double guard break if you do the other Legion. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
So none of that, just the...
It's a simple stuff here. So, I guess the idea of the deck is that you would try to push some early, and then you would try to, like, guard break your way through the last bit of damage. I don't even think this would be good. I just think it'd be pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, at one point, is some, like, Bushiroad employee listening to this and being like, you know what, that's a good idea. We're going to make it. Yeah. We're going to make the knockoff Nexus at Night podcast.
Oh, no.
Look, if we can't
have
hire
an
a
intern
guy...
named Matt.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Or it's like, look, I know we can't do Alvin because that's going to, like... We're going to call him Dr. Pepper, okay? That's what we're going to do. Okay. You know what? Yeah, listener, what do you think about all these custom cards? Could you have done better? Because, frankly, I'm kind of disappointed at people...
Wow.
Yeah. Most of them were given to us by Lyrics_Mad. Shout out to him, because he sends us stuff constantly. Which is good.
Yeah, which is great, but I wanted to try my hand at the ride chain, because the ride chain's really neat, and, like, really easy to make, like, several cards at once that all have, like, kind of the same theme or whatever. So, makes it pretty easy skeleton.
But yeah, so if we do these every couple months or so if you tweet them with the hashtag Nexus cards, or if you want to email them to us, you can send it to nexusatnightpod@gmail.com. Please put custom cards somewhere in the subject line, otherwise we're going to be like, the fuck is this? Because reading is hard. Or just find us on Twitter at Nexus at Nights and donate to the Patreon, patreon.com/Nexus at Night. Bonus shows of us every week with the occasional guest. Where can they find you guys out there?
You can find me on Twitter at Wiggums2Gs2Gs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
And then you can find me at Atlas Novak in the same places. Twitter, Instagram. And now we're going to do a kind of sort of March Madness bracket on the last day of March. So how this is going to work is there are 6 Overtriggers in total. I'm going to put them in a matchup, and then you guys are going to like debate which one is the better one. And then we're going to, go into a final, and that's it. So there's going to be let's see, if there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say there's a Western, a Northern, and a Southern conference. So the Western Conference, we have Dragon Empire versus Cater Sanctuary starting off. So we have Light Dragon Deity of Honors Amartinoa and Dragon Deity of Resurgence Dragdveda. So go for it. Which one's better?
The one that says I get extra drive checks.
Yeah. Wait, both of them say that technically.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, the one that says I get lots of extra drive checks.
And we know which one that is, so you're voting Cater Sanctuary on that?
Yeah. I'm going to vote Cater Sanctuary on that one.
Like, I think Cater Sanctuary has a lower floor, but, like, Dragveda is really a card that you only want to be seeing on, like, your grade 3 turn, where I can see Cater Sanctuary just dumping hand early, and if they get the Overtrigger, that's still just 2 extra drive checks early on. Plus the potential to, like, trigger your opponent. Heh.
I was going to say in a literal or figurative sense. I'm confused. Yes.
Yes.
Um, okay, so winner of the first round is Tater Sanctuary. Next up, we have the what is it? Eastern Conference. So that's Dark States versus Stoicheia.
That one is interesting. Because the thing with the Dark State one is, like, it's for the whole game, so if you check that one early, not only are you getting the extra damage that you would have gotten with the Stoicheia one, but, like, that's for the whole game as well, so you have constant pressure. And I feel like even late game that's still pretty relevant, because Vanguard pressure is pretty important, especially right now. Like, Bruce has to wait a turn for Final Rush, so that first grade 3 turn, you're still stuck on 3 attacks, and having 10k and a crit can be a lot of pressure. Still okay, what? Like, I feel like for Zorga, that'll be pretty good, where your front row's even bigger, especially if you couldn't Alka Magic because you ran out of Soul. Like, it also makes your columns better in Magnolia because, back row attacking, so you don't have boosters anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This one's harder. Because, like, both of them have reasonable strengths and weaknesses. I feel like Stoicheia can still get you a ton of tempo early because you're, like, drawing a card and, if you went second, potentially healing as well. That's... Like, I'm having a hard time making a decision for this one, honestly.
Where do you land, Matt?
I think I like the Dark States one more, but like I don't know if that's exactly what I think the Dark States one is better, but I'm not like confident in that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because honestly, I feel like both of these can age pretty well too, because one of them is just giving literally every trigger to your units, so like you're gonna find a way to make that work no matter how crazy the game gets. And then again, just having that constant crit pressure, especially if you get it early. I guess I'm gonna say Dark States just because it lasts the entire game, so like if you get the worst case scenario where you drove it, check it on your first grade 1 ride with no board, then the Dark State one is going to impact the game more overall. And I think even late game, just having that extra power on your Vanguard can mean something when, not every deck's going to be able to find perfect guards all the time.
Yeah, I definitely think there's situations where like one is better than the other. Mm-hmm. Like, don't get me wrong, or like the Stoicheia one is better. But I think I'd rather have the
Dark States?
Yeah,
the Dark States one on average, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
I feel like overall the Dark States one is going to make more people mad, so we're going to go with that.
I believe that.
Well said. All right, so far in our bracket we have Tater Sanctuary and Dark States going to the finals. Lastly, we have Brantgate. Now, normally, if there was the Whale one, I would do it. That is the matchup. But that doesn't exist, so instead it's Brantgate versus the Vanilla one, Spiritual King of Determination.
Brantgate, not even a question.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Matt, same thing.
The Brantgate one is just...
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be really mad about that one eventually. maybe it won't be that bad, but man, it feels really bad. It looks like it'd be that bad.
All right, so assigning a number of 1 for Tater, 2 for Dark States, and 3 for Brant. I'm gonna have a random number generator decide who is playing each other, and then the unselected number gets the bye. So, first one is a 3, so Brantgate has to play 2 Dark States. So, Brantgate versus Dark States.
I'm gonna go with. I think
it's not easy, is it? You like what?
Sorry, I think I like the. I don't know. I'm gonna say the Brantgate one Just because I think having the 3 crits all in one turn, on average, is going to because you're more likely to see it later, right?
Yeah.
So I think seeing the 3 crits on one turn is going to be better than the 1 crit over a couple turns, maybe.
Yeah. Let's see. Like, again, when you consider early game potential too, I think the Brant Gate one is just good at any stage of the game. As long as you have at least one rear guard to work with, just give it 100 mil. Just give something 100 million power. They probably didn't even guard your Vanguard attack, so you could just give that the 100 million power and an extra critical, and they're just gonna take 2 damage or PG it.
Mm-hmm.
And either way, I think you get a really big tempo swing out of that.
Okay.
And, the potential to just straight up OTK your opponent if you just call a full board that has even decent columns.
Okay. So, Brantgate is the winner?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I like the Brantgate one.
Alright, so Brantgate now goes into the grand finals with Tater Sanctuary. Fight.
Oh, man. I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, I do think the Cater Sanctuary one has a lower floor, just because if you don't have a board or your board is really bad, then that can quickly drop in quality.
That's true. But if you I also think it's kind of awkward. It seems to be like a Bastion specific trigger almost. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but it definitely feels like it's supposed to be oh, this is for Bastion, which I kind of don't like.
I can believe that, because right now for Hexa Orb, I'm not really considering a whole lot of other grade 3. I guess the new Witch Day reveal, just because since it only counts unit, it will always have 5k shield.
Mm-hmm.
So that one also can't intercept, and you wouldn't want to actually call it. It's just a card that lives in your hand, so you still wouldn't get Twin Drive off of it. Yeah, I think the Brant Gate one just more generic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the Brant Gate one a lot, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's possible the Keter one's better. I honestly don't know. They both seem really good. I think we can agree on. It's just
the ceiling of having 6 drive checks in a turn is pretty insane.
But the floor of having 100 million power, which everything else can do, is...
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
this has a lower floor than the Cray Elemental one, technically.
Mm-hmm. So, Matt, where do you land?
I don't know. I think the Keter one.
Okay, so we got a tie then.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say the Brant Gate one for me, just because the Keter has the potential to have a really low floor.
Can I just say that whatever is decided, I think all of these triggers are absolutely absurd if you check them.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, done.
It doesn't matter which is the worst one. They're all going to be absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And they're 50k shields in your hand, which is what I expect to be using them for.
Yeah. I mean, this is just for fun.
That's what I have been using them for in testing.
Rip. So I guess I'll be the tiebreaker then, because I haven't been weighing in on any of these. At the beginning of this episode, I would have said the Keter Sanctuary one, just because of the ridiculousness that is getting 6 drive checks in a turn, especially if your name is Bastion. But it seems that if you're in a less good situation, at least just throwing the last card you have on board with the Brantgate one, you can still get double power, double crit. Versus, okay, so you get 3 drive checks instead of 2. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Brantgate with this one, and that means Brantgate is the winner of our March Madness bracket. Yeah. Who do you think should have won the March Madness bracket? I recommend you go through it yourselves. Do it with your friends. You do that instead of, I don't know, going outside or taking a walk, exercise, stuff like that. But, yeah, thanks everybody for listening. We will see you on Sunday for Tangents. And until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.